Alright, y'all, this is Love and Hip Hop New York. This is season 8, episode 11. We picked up right where we left off from last week with Ruben pulling up on Anais and Rich. And just a little side note about Anais real quick. I follow Bondi Blue on Instagram, and she posted this video of Anais being on the Jerry Springer show, I guess some years ago or whatever, and she talking like how I'm talking right now. I was confused, like how Scooby-Doo be like, "Rrr?" Like, what happened to the accent? And if you guys notice, during this episode, her accent was like going in and out. So I was just like, interesting. But anyways, let's get back to the show. So, Ruben is asking, Rich, he's like, you work for Navarro or whatever. And, Rich is like, no, but, he's a friend of mine and everything. And, he asked me to come out here and help out. And, Ruben, he's looking at Anais like, why are you so nervous? And, Rich is like, I think it's kind of cool how you came out to support her, even though y'all separated and talking about getting and y'all supposed to be divorcing and everything. And Ruben is like, how you know all that? And Rich is like, well, I mean, we talked about it or whatever. And, Ruben is like, are you having an affair with him? Talking to Anais. Anais is like, well, I mean, we've been dating or whatever. And Ruben is like, she got kids. Do she, still live with me and everything? And, Anais is like, I mean, it just happened or whatever. And Rich is trying to talk to Ruben, and Ruben is like, listen here, motherfucker, I'm addressing her right now, I'll address you when I'm done. And, Rich is like, oh, so I'm on your time now. Ruben was trying to walk up on Rich, and security immediately grabs him. I said, see, they know something we don't know about Ruben, because Ruben just was walking up on him. He ain't run up on him. He was walking up on him, and they immediately grabbed him. I was like, God damn it, I wanted to see Ruben fuck Rich up. I know that's wrong, but I mean, come on now. Y'all know y'all wanted to see the shit too, okay? So, and I guess them grabbing him that's when Ruben got amped up and everything, because he wanted to really get the Rich, and I don't blame him. And, Rich, I guess he tried to act like he was going to do a little something. I'm like, Negro, please, like, you won't going to do shit. Like, that old man was going to kick your ass. So, anyways, Ruben, he takes his ring off and he throws it. He's like, he's done or whatever, and he walks out. Jonathan is in the background, of course, watching all of this, looking devastated. And, Jonathan is like, listen, I saw him ask for the waitress's number. You're making a big mistake here. And, Rich is trying to deny that he got the waitress's number. And Jonathan is going off and like, and y'all know how Jonathan do in true Jonathan fashion. And he's like, he's a liar! I said that, listen, I understand Jonathan going off. He was right in everything that he was saying. But y'all know, like, Jonathan just be going overboard. And I'd be scared he gonna pop a blood vessel, have a heart attack or something. The way he just be, like, that vein just be poking out when he be going off. But, Anais in her confessional talking about something, I should have listened to Jonathan and da-da-da. And, Anais, she don't want to talk to Rich no more. So she's trying to, go outside and chase after Ruben. Jonathan follows her. And, she's trying to make, all these excuses and everything, this, that, and the third. Ruben is over it. He's like, I want a divorce. And he walks away. And, she's telling Jonathan how she messed up, and she, gets emotional, and, Jonathan is trying to console her and everything, and that was what they seen. So then we get Jaquay meeting up with Bianca at the bowling alley, and, he admits to her, you was right about Sophia and everything or whatever, and she was like, see, I tried to tell you, but, I do have somebody for you, and, her name is Cayenne. And you guys know we got introduced to Cayenne a few episodes ago at Mariah Lynn's little lingerie slash the debut of her new tits party or whatever you want to call it. So, he's like, she coming here right now, whatever. And she's like, yeah, and everything. And he feels kind of blindsided because, he didn't change his socks. I said, you nasty motherfucker. Feet probably smell like fungus and Cheetos, all kinds of shit. Nasty. So, Cayenne shows up and, they vibing off of each other and everything. And she spits, a little rap for him. And I'm like, okay, girl, because I have been hearing from people that she can really rap or whatever. So I'm going to have to really check her out. But, yeah, they, really hit it off in this scene. So, and I heard that they really are dating for real. So, that's cool, So we get the Creep Squad minus Rich and Self. And, they're playing like baseball or tetherball or whatever the shit is called. I don't know, but I'm not sure if that's the right term, but whatever the shit is, that's what they was doing. And, they asked Safari, Snoop and Jacquay was like, what was going on with Mariah Lynn or whatever. And, he was like, we were talking about music, but Mariah Lynn's eyes were saying something else. And I'm like, boy, shut up. Okay. But anyways, I always think somebody wants your ass. But anyway, so Carl's stalking ass pops up and they always making him look weird whenever he comes into the scene, just making him look like as if he just really popping up on motherfuckers versus the fact that he was actually invited there or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, we know he be popping up on Mo and shit, but still, y'all know what I'm saying. But anyway, so he, shows up or whatever. And, he wants all of them to come to like his open workout event that he's having. And I'm like, you having an event for an open workout? Like, who the hell wants to see that? Like, you know what I'm saying? But I guess this is his way of, trying to bring his fans back in since he's about to get back into boxing or whatever. And, he tells them, like, I got this new Instagram account or whatever. And Snoop is like, oh, Lord, like, Mo gonna flip out and everything. And he claims that it's just for boxing purposes. And don't nobody know who he is. And I'm like, well, don't nobody know that it's him. I'm like, that ain't gonna stop motherfuckers from sliding into your damn DMs. So, like, or you sliding into they shit. So, like, yeah, cut the shit, Carl. But whatever. So, anyways, Rich, he invites, Peter out to, the shoe store, for some advice because Peter has been in a similar situation. And, he also invites Navarro out. He sits up here and claims, Navarro set him up or whatever, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, no, motherfucker, you knew this bitch was married and you decided to, get involved with her anyway and stick your dirty dick up inside of her anyway. So, whatever. You can miss me with that bullshit. So, Rich tells them about what happened with Ruben and everything and, how, she's been claiming for years, well, I mean, not for years. She's been claiming how for years she's been wanting like a divorce or whatever, this, that, and the third. But he notices that, when he comes around, she gets quiet like a church mouse and everything. Like she's scared or something. I'm like, yeah, because she know that motherfucker was funding her damn career and everything and paying for whatever for her. And your broke ass ain't got shit. Okay. So anyways, Peter, he's like, this kind of sound like me and everything. She the female Peter Guns. And Rich has said something. And Peter is like, no, this only looks, or this only sounds surprising because it's a female doing this when, men do it all the time and everything. And Rich is like, nah, I ain't never do nothing like that or whatever. And Peter is like, so you ain't never lied or whatever. And, Rich is like, I mean, I've lied, but not like on no shit like this and everything. And I'm just like, Rich Dollars is so fucking annoying, like, seriously. But anyway, so, that was pretty much that what they seen or whatever. Then we get Dream Doll and Safari. Pretty much, Bree told her about Mariah Lynn. She keeps on calling Mariah Lynn a fucking op. Like, girl, get the fuck on. Safari is like, I could do what the fuck I want to. Like, I'm a grown ass man, you know, and she talking about some, yeah, but we made an agreement about this, that, and the third. And he's like, no, we never made. And Safari was calm the whole fucking time. He's like, we never made an agreement. You said what you said, and you walked the fuck out. I was like, boop. Shout out to Nene Leakes. Boop. Okay. And you know, Safari is saying how she's very childish or whatever, you know, for you to be sitting up here going off of what you hear. And she's like, but you're childish for not telling me or whatever, this, that, and the third. And, you know, wasn't you just in your bag the other day about, you know, me posting somebody else for National Boyfriend Day? And I'm just like, oh my God, you know. And Safari is like, you know, he's trying to tell her what happened, and she's talking over him like a fucking bird. And he's like, you know, you don't control me. And, you know, she's like, you know, you do whatever I tell you to do, and this, that, and the third. And he's like, that attitude is going to bounce off of deaf ears. And, you know, she's like, bye, whatever, get out, this, that, and the third. And so he's trying to leave, and she pushing him. I said, now see if he would have knocked her ass out. I'm just saying, like, I'm not promoting domestic violence, but, you know, he was already leaving. You didn't need to sit up here and keep on pushing him. So her, you know, continuing trying to push him, he stopped at the door and put his hands, you know, on the door and everything. So she's like, all right, fine, I'll leave then. So then that's when, you know, she's like, and I mean, that's when he's like, you know, let me teach you how to rap. I was like, oh, okay. Because that bitch ain't serving nothing. So, anyways, we get Jacquay and Cayenne on this iFly date. You know, the thing where you be like this up in the air in the tube or whatever. So, you know, she done heard some things about him. She brings up Sophia, and he's like, listen, she's out the picture. I thought she was the one, but it didn't work out. She's vulnerable right now, so she's very cautious or whatever. And she wants them to take their time and everything, and he's cool with it. And, you know, he pulls her closer or whatever. I was like, oh, okay, now, you know, with your dirty feet ass, Jacquay. But anyway, so, you know, he invites her to, you know, Carl's event. So that's that with them. Then we get Navarro. He's in his office. Ruben shows up, and, you know, he's immediately, you know, going off Navarro. Like, you know, I hired you as Anaise's, you know, manager and everything. And then you have Rich at her event, and you knew that he was cheating with my wife. You know, do you think that's right or whatever? And Navarro is pretty much like, listen, I ain't got nothing to do with that. Like, I'm working with Anais as, you know, I'm working with Anais as an artist and everything, but, I mean, this shit did spill over into, you know, the personal side. So I understand how Ruben is feeling because of the fact that he has some type of rapport with Navarro, and you knew about this shit, and you just like, you know what I'm saying? But I understand what Navarro is saying too, because it's like, listen, I ain't got nothing to do with Anais' personal life. If she want to sit up here and fuck around, and, you know, that's on her. Even if it's with my homeboy, then that's on her, you know. So I understand both sides of it. And he's, you know, trying to explain to Ruben, like, listen, I sent him there because I couldn't be there. And, you know, they still kind of going back and forth or whatever. And Anais, you know, shows up and everything in the middle of their conversation. You know, Ruben is over it, and Anais claims that she don't have shit with Rich or whatever, and that maybe if he was making her happy, that she wouldn't have to look at another man. You know, the typical shit that motherfuckers say as an excuse for cheating. And, you know, Ruben is like, you know, I'm the one who paid for your career and everything, and she got hot about that, because she's like, don't sit up here and, you know, try to say you paying for my career just because you invest in me. That does not, you know, make you the owner of my talent or whatever. And he's like, listen, you know, I'm done with you. Get your shit out my house and be with the old Rich Dollars or whatever his name is, character. So Juju and Safari, they go to like this club thing or whatever, you know, and I guess that's the spot that he went to, you know, after his breakup with Nikki and everything. he's telling Juju about Dream Doll, and next thing you know, he sees Sophia in the cut about to do her DJ thing. So, he goes over there to talk to her and everything, and he tells Sophia about him and Dream Doll breaking up, and then she tells about Jacquay, and Safari's like, oh yeah, Jacquay is a good dude, like I've been around him, and she talks about how she was in love with him. Yeah, okay. And how she's been trying, excuse me, she's been trying to reach out or whatever. And, he hasn't been, responding back to her. And he's like, listen, let me invite you to Carl's, event, because he's going to be there as well. And let's see, if we can, do something from there. So, then we have Anais and Rich. She shows up to his apartment because she needs his moral support because, Ruben kicked her out the house. So, she's telling him about, Ruben being in Navarro's office and asking for a divorce. And, Rich is like, I'm just not understanding here because you always claimed you was unhappy and everything. And this, explains why he came in, why he came into the event that we were at, acting the way he did and everything. And Anais is like, no, he came in there because he didn't know about you or whatever. And, Rich is like, his actions showed that he didn't know that he was no longer with his wife or whatever. And they just going back and forth. I just really didn't give a damn. She calls him a player and how Jonathan was right, and Rich is like, what are you talking about? You got the number from the waitress and everything. And, so you trying to say my best friend going to lie about something like that, this, that, and the third. And Rich is like, no, I did get her number. And Rich tried to downplay it, talking about something. Yeah, I got her number, but I wasn't going to do nothing with it. Boy, please, okay? So, she tells him that, Ruben kicked her out, this, that, and the third. And, they still going back and forth about whatever. And she leaves, calling him a clown. And I'm like, girl, you a clown too. Hey, Miss Bozo. Shit. But they both get on my fucking nerves. Like, I'm over it. So then we get Carl's event or whatever. Mo is there. Remy is there. Papoose is there. Everybody there, whatever. And, Remy accidentally kind of spills the beans or whatever about Carl having, this Instagram account, because that's how she found out about the event and everything. And Mo is like, say what now? Like, no, he ain't got no Instagram no more. And, Remy is like, no, let me show you. So she shows Mo or whatever. And so Mo tries to go to it and finds out that Carl got her blocked. And, Remy is trying to tell her, listen, I got a show to go to. Promise me you're not going to pop off. You're not going to go off and everything. And, Mo's just like, yeah, as soon as you leave, I'm going to go right off on his ass. So, as soon as Remy leaves, she walks over to where Carl is at to try to confront him. He walks away to go into the ring or whatever. And she's like, see, he always do this every time I try to talk to him about something. And, Snoop is like, what's going on now? Trying to figure out what's going on. And she's like, okay, well, tell me if I'm bugging or whatever. And she's explaining the situation and everything. And Snoop is like, not right now. And Mo is over it. She goes outside to the car, and Snoop goes outside after her and tells her to calm down. And she's like, what, I'm going to my cousin's house and everything, but don't tell him or whatever. I'm like, but you telling Snoop. But Snoop was like, listen, I don't want to be in the middle of y'all shit. So maybe she might not tell him, I don't know. But Snoop goes back inside and sees, Safari showing up with Sophia. And, Snoop gets on her about, breaking Jacquay's heart and this, that, and the third. And she's like, well, that's why I'm here trying to make things right and everything. And she's like, all right, now, don't be fucking over my boy again. And, next thing you know, Jacquay shows up with Cayenne. I was just like, and the way he came in smiling. I said, Negro, you knew she was gonna be there. That's why your ass was smiling. Mona, your ass ain't slick. But that was the episode, you guys. I'll be back in here for Love and Hip Hop Miami. But make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys come back. Make sure you share here, share there, share every motherfucking where. And I'll see y'all in a few for Love and Hip Hop Miami. All right, y'all.